Hi and welcome to Wrong Way. And today I'm going to show you my EUC collection and what every e-wheel here stands for. Oh yeah, and the scooter. So let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. Alright, so as you can see here, the things went quite well in terms of the EUCs we have here. Now, not all of them are mine. This is Kate's Monocat's Tesla V2, so check out Monocat's channel if you want to have any info about the Tesla V2. But the rest of here is, let's say, our stuff that we use. And well, each of and every one of these devices is for different tasks, and each one of them has their upsides and downsides, and I'm gonna also tell you a bit about the accessories I have here, like the chargers, like the more nitty-gritty stuff. If you own a electric unicycle, then maybe you might be interested in that. So maybe I'll start with the newest addition to the, well, not the UC collection, but to the stuff we have. We just got a new helmet, Shoei Glamster. It's pretty awesome, very small helmet, very lightweight, 1,250 grams. With a shield, will be awesome for riding in the winter. Probably I'm gonna go make a separate video about it, but very happy with that. And I also got a separate visor for it, like this, then it looks a bit more badass. Yeah, gonna cover it up with stickers, but for now very happy with it, but you know, better to look at the long-term reviews, so yeah, stay tuned for that. And let's start with the unicycle. So first up, the Monster Pro, which has 2,800 kilometers on the clock, I believe. And recently, sadly, I drove it first time in the rain because we made some modifications to it, which I'm gonna mention in a second. And yep, still the big bearing motor. I'll have to change it or change the bearings, but probably I'll need to change the motor. Warranty case, so nice, but another thing to do with the Monster Pro. Nevertheless, throughout these 2,800 kilometers, been very happy with it. Go check out maybe my full review on it. And when it comes to stuff that is on here, just got the white new fiberglass shell from Mono Customize, which looks very dope, and it has these nice like particles and it shimmers in the night, looks very awesome. But the paint job starts already falling off, which is a bummer. Maybe they can work on that. And here on the back, I made a sticker, and then I wanted to put it out, and the paint chips right off. I've heard that this is also happening in other cases like UCU, but that's the only experience I have. I have just Mono Customize cases for now. So in terms of the modifications that were made inside, we closed the hole, which is on the motherboard. Maybe let me get the motherboard. So this is how the original heatsink looked like. There was a hole here, and yeah, probably a hole from that leads air like this. It's probably not a good idea. So we covered up that hole. We added a bit of heat sinks also around this unit, and now it looks like this. I will show you the pictures underneath. This was like the most important thing to do. Also on the sides we had to close up the RGB lights. You can check out my Teardowns video for all of the info, but yeah, now the motherboard is safe as well. But why is the black motherboard here and not in the wheel? Well, sadly, we changed the motherboard over 60 kilometers an hour, both when free spinning the wheel and riding. It has some vibrations. Now, not sure if it has something to do with the motor or with the firmware itself, but yeah, the vibrations are there, so I have to use the old motherboard again. Probably when I get the new motor, I'll also change the motherboard. Nevertheless, I did all those things here in town at Robert's shop in Warsaw. So Robert has a really nice shop here. And yeah, now the Monster Pro is somewhat waterproof and improved. In terms of other things on the Monster Pro, we also changed the setting of the front light. Now they're slightly raised, so they're not totally going onto the floor now. Still a bit, but not as bad as it was before. We have the torque pads, I have the torque pads here because I don't know, they work well. Nothing here on the side, just to make gliding of the inner leg calves easy on this thing. And yeah, the torque pads just provide me with a lot of room to accelerate and brake on this machine. And yeah, obviously the Nilla Nove V3, very nice pedals, high angle, and yeah, just an awesome machine, awesome cruiser, very comfortable. I'm sticking with the stock tire, which is, by the way, 18-inch tire, 18 by 275. So yeah, that's the Monster Pro here. Really awesome machine. Been using it, most comfortable device, I guess, out of all of them. And sadly also the one I'm most scared of in terms of accelerating, like really instantly. I wouldn't have got it probably if Kate would have another wheel which is fast, because you know these are pretty similar in their merit. But I just love riding this thing, and if we ride together with Kate, then we both need a fast wheel. So then there's a Sherman, 5,000 kilometers on the clock or so. Trolley handle, it's been acting sometimes. Not closing because these screws here, these screws here sometimes keep protruding out, and they have no thread at all anymore, so I have to like press them in. Trolley is like working on and off, but other than that, working pretty stellar. Also with torque pads installed with the old, or I guess Sherman style Nilla Nove, which are awesome as well. Very well waterproofed. I have no stress of going into water with this thing. And all in all, this is just like a device when I want to both speed and have something practical, not too big. And yeah, also Kate uses it mostly. So when Kate uses a Sherman, I'm on the Monster Pro. Yeah, if you want to check out any updates on this wheel, there's other videos on my channel, 4,000 kilometer review. But yeah, this thing has been performing really well. Well, except for the bearings change, let's say, and the trolley handle, which is sometimes a pain in the ass. Yeah, sometimes I also get some weird error messages on the screen, but not really problematic. Sometimes it also doesn't want to charge the first time I plug it in. Then I'll take the plug out, turn it on, turn it off, and then it works. So very fast too. Better accelerating than the Monster Pro. So then we move on to the MSP, which is the sort of trick wheel. And recently it got a very big upgrade with this seat on the top. So this is a seat from EUC Market Alexa. They sent it to me for free. And this is just amazing. Looks pretty neat. It's the most comfy seat I've ever sat on EUC. Very awesome for seated riding. And also, if you see here, it can lock in place so it doesn't move. And then I push this lever up. Boom, trolley handle. So I didn't use a trolley handle on the MSP for a very long time because it broke, but now this is like even better than the stock trolley handle. I love this thing. So you just mount it in place with adhesive tape, and then you have these sort of O-rings, I don't know how they're called, to tighten it up even further, and then you can like even lift it with the trolley handle. So yeah, this is a great upgrade. If you want a seat, then you can grab that. Already have two things in one, or you can also grab just the trolley. So check out the EUC Market Alexa for that. Also with a mono customized shell, many scuffs, many falls, many falls, and the shell is still intact. Naturally the paint is scraped somewhere, but this thing has been performing really well. And yeah, I'm actually surprised that it still works. The wheel, it has like 3,500 kilometers on the clock, but it still works flawlessly. I'm like, sometimes I had this issue two times that it turned off and I couldn't turn it on. The weird ways of Galway. Once it works, once it doesn't. Just need to press the button. Fan turns on, speaker turns on. Nothing else turns on. But then after just like laying it down on the side or sometimes disconnecting the battery, it turned on again, so it works. But no motherboard swaps, no tightening of the axles, no problems with the axles, motherboard works fine. Once I had water ingress and that's why it cut off, so I had to seal it, but now it's properly sealed. So yeah, this thing just works tremendously well, actually. In terms of other mods I have here, this wheel is probably the most packed with mods. So I have some additional furniture, like bump tape here, that acts as sort of a grip here on the top. I have the grizzly pads. Probably I'll make a separate video on those as well, but these are working really nice. They have a very cushy structure, and finally there's a pad where I can just put it one and the other very separately, because I just like having a bit more space, a bit more angled pads, and these are doing a tremendous job at that. So I'll make a separate review of it, but they will stay for now on the MSP for jumps, for tricks. They work really well for that. And I also have here on the side some reflectors on the tail as well, and on the front, which is a cool added bonus. So check out the grizzly pads to maybe get one of those. They're pretty cool. Maybe I would like them a bit wider here on the top and the front, but they work really well. And I have a lot of other pads, which I'll show you maybe later in the video. Now it's rocking the Hextech pedals, really stiff, not angle adjusted. I like them. They have really long pins, but I still prefer the Nova. Currently I don't have any Nova for that. I have just the old ones, which would be way too flat because they are not adjusted force wheels, so I'm keeping those for now. I'm waiting for a new Nova set, which should be there soon, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, tire is CST. Oh, and that's the point I wanted to mention, because the CST tire I discovered to be not as good as the Kenda. So initially I liked the CST a lot, if you saw my video about tires. However, one problem popped up, mainly that this space between the blocks here is way bigger than the space between the blocks here on the Kenda. You can see that here. The Kenda is, I guess it's a bit wider and it has just better grip. I think the compound is maybe also better on the Kenda, but riding on the Sherman is great, also with the wide rim. And on the MSP, I sort of sometimes turn and it goes up to a point. It goes up to a point when I turn and it's fine, and then it goes further and then I turn from sort of this direction. So I jump between those two lines of grip here, which is not optimal. And also small detail here on the side, 3D printed covers for the speakers by Shoei Market. So yeah, that's that. Also fun fact, Mono Customize is coming out with a new shell, which has like carbon inserts. So you can check that out on my Instagram, and I guess their Instagram as well. Next up, we have the Tesla, which I use on and off, where I just need a smaller wheel. But you know, it's a Kate's wheel, and mostly it's used by Kate. Then we have the 9-Bot 1S2, which I've been using just to sometimes take it as a super small wheel, you know, to throw out the trash and stuff. But it turns out it's just not enough practical for our use case. Too low pedals, it doesn't have a trolley handle, so I'm gonna sell it. This is going to go. Next up, we have the Kingston N11 scooter, and as you can see, we have another motherboard for it, which I'll have to fit soon. And then there will be different performance of the scooter. The scooter we pretty much don't use at all. On and off, like once I take it out just to see that it still works and remind myself how it is to ride on a scooter. And then it's not being used pretty much at all. But as far as for scooters go, it's pretty good. If anyone would ever come to us and visit us, doesn't know how to ride a e-wheel, probably would take the scooter then. But that's not all. We have also a big wall of accessories here. That's the seat I use for the Monster Pro, but probably I need to get a seat like that from USC Market Alexa. We have a 7.5 amp charger, which is for quick charging of the wheels. I can use it with all of these 3 wheels. The MSP can take up to 7.5 amps, so that's perfect. We have a 5 amp charger for like medium fast charging. And we have also a 3 amp charger for slow charging, which I use sometimes overnight, but very rarely I charge the wheels overnight. I try to just charge them during the day, just to be safe and yeah, just not let it charge overnight. I consider fast charging to be like over 5 amps. So if you go somewhere with a 5 amp charger and a 100-volt wheel, probably it's not like fast enough to top up the battery. So you would need a 7.5 amp charger or this unnecessarily big block of a 8 amp charger. So make sure you choose the right form factor. This thing is very blocky. Probably won't use it much on the EUCs. Then we have also another charger for the Tesla, 3.5 amps from Unicycles, which works well. We don't even have, I think, the stock charger for the Nikola, which is very slow. And then the 60-volt chargers for the scooter and the charger for the 9-bot. Now I wanted to also show you, because people ask me like, what's the best pads and stuff. I have wide selection of pads. We have the torque pads in the jumbo version. We have the side pads. We have the Grizzly pads there. We have these ones I was using on the Monster Pro. Pretty cool option, not to overpower the wheel. And we have the Clarks. I don't like the Clarks that much. And we have also the new and improved Flex pads by Hula Market. And these pads Kate was using on the Tesla. Now she's testing the Grizzly pads. And we have also the big side pads for big wheels. Boom. They're a bit bigger than these ones. I'm testing still the Grizzly pads. I really like them a lot, but I need to just ride with them a bit more to get accustomed for them. But they are a really nice choice for riders that want to really have a good setup that is tailored towards them, because you can set them up any way you'd like. But I still have to test sort of the durability and if they're really strong enough to holding to the shell with these two separate parts. So these are pretty much top of my list. Then also top of my list are the torque pads. However, the torque pads on my Sherman, wait, let me show you here somewhere. The torque pads here on my Sherman started breaking a bit, so I'll need to investigate that. But if you want to have pads that have a shape that was done before and it's tested, then the torque pads are really great. I think they have like a lot of room here for leaning forward, leaning backwards. Some people don't like it that much, so if you're more of a rider that doesn't need much leg movement for back and forth, then these are probably not the best. For jumping, I would also say a bit narrower pads could be better, or the Grizzly pads, because here's still a lot of room. As you see, like here, where it digs into your leg, here it's less room on the side pads, or maybe I can just do that. Just a bit tighter on the side pads. So yeah, for jumping, I would probably get some tighter pads, but these work well as well. The side pads are very awesome, they're quite durable, and I heard that the after-sales support is really nice. So if something breaks in yours, you get a new pair. My friend Tadju also got a new pair with reinforced top now, and they work really well, quite squishy, and very nice to ride on. Just a bit tighter than the torque pads. Flex pads I also tried, but can't really ride that well in them, but I guess maybe for some users they'll be also nice, but for me I just prefer a bit of the other ones. Also with the back wall being much shorter than in other pads, I just prefer other ones. Then the Clark pads I think just overpriced, can't really fit them properly on the wheel, and because this is, I think, the big version. And the side pads, the big version obviously for big wheels, also pretty awesome with the size of these walls back on the front and in the back, especially for like bigger wheels. I cut them in half to adjust them, but they're also pretty cool. So this is pretty much the garage in its state right now. Maybe something will be changing when I get the EXN torque soon. It will maybe replace the MSP high torque. But other than that, this looks pretty cool and I'm very happy with it. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.